Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to the Operation Freedom platform and our ongoing series on health and nutrition. This is about empowering you, not about empowering insurance companies, HMOs, government bureaucrats who have no functional medical knowledge yet try to dictate what your care is going to be. This is not about empowering big pharmaceutical companies or big medicine like the AMA. This is about empowering you and how you can unleash your body, if you will, so that you have complete physical wellness and health. And that's what we do with this series. This is about our 50th presentation that Dr. Glidden and I have done over the past several years. And you can find all the information at operationfreedomhealth.com. That's where we have all of our videos. That's where we have all of our information. The products we discuss in this show are also there for you. You can order them, because why do the presentations if some people have nowhere to go to get the products, the information that we speak about? By the way, full disclosure, purchase of the products on operationfreedomhealth.com does support this platform. My guest is my friend and the top naturopathic physician, not just in our country, but I believe the world, Dr. Peter Glidden. He has been practicing naturopathic medicine since 1992. He continues to be licensed to do so. As you can tell from the comments, many of his patients comment about how he positively changed their lives from a life of illness to a life of health and wellness. He also is a phenomenal author. I encourage you to go to Amazon. His 2 books are there, Everybody is Sick and I Know Why, and Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine. They are the foundation of our medical library in my home. It's my honor to welcome to our platform yet again, and today we're speaking about minerals, the key to overall health. My friend speaking about it and his expertise on display for the millions of folks to see, Dr. Peter Glidden. Peter, welcome back to Operation Freedom Health. Hey, Pete, you're muted.
Dave, thank you very much. It's always best when the microphone is on.
I didn't know if you were pulling a gig on me or if you were actually. So good. Okay, Pete. So let's now that the mute button's off, let's talk about minerals.
Yeah, let's talk about minerals. It's important. You know, if people in the general population saw 1% of the success that myself and my colleagues have realized over the last 30 years, then people would be beating our doors down. There'd be a 1 million man march to get naturopathic medicine licensed because naturopathic medicine, the foundation philosophy of naturopathic medicine, is built on an understanding, an observation, and an understanding of natural law. Mm-hmm. Natural law does not change. Right? The speed at which something falls on planet Earth is always the same. In base 10 mathematics, 2 + 2 is always 4, right? The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Never going to change. Natural law doesn't change. That's why naturopathic medicine, our therapeutics, have virtually remained unaltered for the last couple of hundred years. We modify and we add to them, but we don't subtract anything, because we operate inside of natural law. Now, the single most important thing to understand about this is step number 1. Mm-hmm. Human body needs raw materials in order to operate the way that nature and God intended it. You don't have enough vitamin D like David, you get rickets. Don't have enough vitamin C like Charlie, you get scurvy. Scurvy like the pirates, right? Mm-hmm. Nutrient deficiency diseases, well, as it turns out, all chronic disease, and by all I mean all, are directly related to nutrient deficiency. And in order to give your body a leg up to even attempt to gain access to the undiscovered country of health, you need to give your body the raw materials that it needs to work. It's simple. I mean, it's really elementary, quite frankly. Now, of the nutrients that the body needs, there are 90 that we've discovered so far. 2/3, 66% are minerals. Mm-hmm. Calcium, sulfur, zinc, copper, magnesium, minerals that people have never even heard of, chromium and vanadium and molybdenum, right? Minerals. Body can't make minerals. Animals can't make minerals. Plants can't make minerals. Nature makes minerals. God can make minerals. And the way that minerals find themselves into the human body is if they're in the soil that the food is growing in. Now, in the 1930s, a committee was established and made a report to Congress in the 1930s, throwing up a red flag about the decreasing mineral content in the food in the United States because of the way that farmers were growing the food. This was in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't move the needle on anything because of the control of the pharmaceutical industry, because when people's bodies become more and more demineralized, more and more chronic disease develops, more and more things break down. Good for big pharma. Everybody gets sick, for goodness sakes, right? I mean, we cured the goiter epidemic in the United States by putting iodine in salt. You didn't subsidize thyroidectomies, right?
Right.
Or have, thyroidectomy clinics like dialysis clinics now are popping up like mushrooms after a summer rain. They just put iodine in the salt, and lo and behold, 90% of it went away because it's a nutrient deficiency illness. Same here. This is the most important concept for people to understand. And I don't care if you're brand new to this. I don't care if you're a veteran. You've been taking nutritional supplements your whole life, watching your diet. Good for you. You need to understand the mineral connection here because it is of maximum importance. Minerals, right? They're 66% of the body's nutrient needs. It's 2/3. That's the lion's share. And mineral content in the food is getting less and less and less and less over time as chronic disease escalates. There's a one-to-one relationship. So, long story short, again, it's not rocket science. You need to mineralize your body. You need to nutrify your body, and the lion's share are minerals. So what are you going to do? You're going to shop organic and buy 20 different types of fruits and vegetables every day and keep your fingers crossed and hope that they were growing in soil that's been mineralized? It's a bad bet. You're going to lose that bet. Because even organic farmers don't put minerals in the soil. No, true. They don't know about this. Easiest way. Now, look, I've been doing this for 32 years clinically, treating patients clinically for 32 years. I still keep my license. I still treat patients. I'm active. I'll treat patients until the day that I die. And in 32 years, the most effective across the board nutritional supplement I've ever seen is the Longevity brand of minerals. And there's a lot of different mineral supplements in the world, but the Longevity's minerals are sourced from a mine in Utah. The minerals are extracted from humic shale that was formed in dinosaur days when everything was different. The oxygen content was different. Everything was different on planet Earth when these minerals were formed. These minerals exist in colloidal form, which means they are unbelievably easy for your body to absorb them,
which is key.
It's super key. Yeah. I mean, you could go to the White Cliffs of Dover, calcium carbonate. You could dig a bucket full of calcium carbonate out of the ground. You could take it into a laboratory, purify it, pulverize it, and swallow it. And because it's in material form, you're lucky if your body can absorb maybe 15% of it. You're lucky. Colloidal minerals, over 95% absorbable. I mean, your body sucks this stuff up like nobody's business. This is the preferred form, the preferred way that nature has to get minerals into the human body. And this stuff is a game changer. And miracle of miracles, it's unbelievably inexpensive. Our recommendation for general all-purpose, slam the doors and kick the tires is get 1 bottle of the minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And I think 1 bottle of the minerals in the U.S. right now is $21.95. For goodness sakes, practically giving it away. This stuff makes all the difference in the world. I had a friend years ago. He wasn't a doctor. He was just he was helped tremendously, like you were, by the nutritional supplements. Yeah. And he worked at a clutch factory in upstate New York. I think they made components for ICBM missiles there also. There are a couple of hundred people working in the factory. And before he started working with us, he was hobbling around because he had bad arthritis. And then he starts working with us, and lo and behold, it goes away. He's running around like a spring chicken. Everybody in the factory said, "What the heck did you do?" His name was Bernie. Bernie Owens was his name. He passed away 2 years ago, I think in his early 90s. He said, this was what Bernie did. Bernie was a no-nonsense guy. So he bought a case or 2 or 3 of the minerals. He kept them in his car. And every time somebody asked him about what he did, he said, "Look, I'm going to give you a bottle of these minerals. I want you to take it for 30 days. If you like how it makes you feel, you can pay me for it, and then I'll get you more." That's all he did. He didn't talk about the science. He didn't talk about agriculture. He didn't talk about the Senate investigation committee about the lack of minerals. He didn't talk about colloids versus material. Just try the stuff. Mm-hmm. Not one person in over 30 years didn't want more. Because, again, not rocket science, 66% of your body's nutrient needs, which arguably everybody on planet Earth has needed since the moment of conception, and nobody on planet Earth has had. When you start pouring this stuff into your body, switches turn on that have been turned off your entire life, and your body starts waking up and optimizing itself. This is a game changer. It's unbelievably inexpensive, super easy to absorb, and it sells itself. And it comes in 3 different flavors. There's the plain, and I will, we're honest, if nothing else. The plain plant-derived minerals taste like water that's been in a garden hose for 2 weeks. It's not a pleasant taste, right? Some people,
I use the other ones. Yeah.
I've learned, what are the other ones? They've got 2 others. Uh-huh. It's the plant minerals with cherry juice and a little bit of apple juice, organic.
That's what I take.
And the minerals with kiwi and strawberry juice added. Mm-hmm. Right? Kids love this stuff, by the way. So whatever your, one man's ceiling is another woman's floor, whatever your taste dictates, do yourself a favor, get 1 bottle of the plant-derived minerals, whichever flavor you like, and take 1 ounce a day. 1 ounce a day. And see if in 21 days, 3 weeks, you don't notice a difference. And if you take 1 ounce of this stuff a day and nothing changes, I will turn in my medical license and stop practicing medicine, because this is like putting air in a tire. It's like putting, filling the tank up with gasoline. I mean, how many metaphors do you want? This stuff is literally the foundation of health, and it should not be overlooked.
Well, and you mentioned, Bernie and his arthritis. I had very bad arthritis myself, and it was limiting what I could do and how I could do it. And I finally, through my hard head, decided I was going to take your recommendations. And I went on the foundation pack and the plant-derived minerals. At the time when I started, I was on a couple anti-inflammatories every day, supplemented with arthritis strength Tylenol, still having symptoms. Within a month, I was off prescription anti-inflammatories and able to do things that I had not been able. If I would even attempt to do things that I was doing, I would get in just tremendous pain. But after that, within a month, off anti-inflammatories, and within another week or so after that, I was off the arthritis strength Tylenol. I was able to do more than I had been able to do in many years' time. And the only change I made, Pete, was the foundation pack and adding the plant-derived minerals. That was it.
People don't get sick because they have bad genes or because they're getting older. People get sick because their body runs out of the raw materials that they need, and then things start to break. And then the only medical professionals that people have access to in this country don't know anything about this, and they've just been trained how to manage the symptoms. I mean, if you don't give the kid who has rickets vitamin D, they're just going to get worse. Need more and more drugs to manage their painful, horrible life. Same with scurvy. You know how many people died from scurvy?
Oh,
Interesting story there. The English Navy, British Navy figured it out. They didn't know what vitamin C was. This was years, decades before that was discovered.
mm-hmm.
But they knew that if their sailors ate limes, they didn't get scurvy.
Limeys.
So that's how the British Navy sailors were called limeys, because they kept barrels of limes on all their ships, right? Go figure. So history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. Your body needs minerals, take the minerals, and let the action of the minerals speak for themselves. Because honest to God, you simply don't know what you're missing.
Pete, I was in medical school 40 years ago at Northwestern University, and I was going through some of my files, and I earlier this week, and I actually found my pharmacology files. Right? There was not one lecture, an entire year's time period, not one lecture on nutrients or minerals, but there were hundreds of documents about pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
And now, thank God for insulin, and by the way, the folder I found it in was in a folder that was from the medical school that had Searle on it, a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, no, there's no collusion there.
None.
It's crazy, But, an interesting anecdote is medical doctors aren't taught this, but you know who are? Pharmacists.
True.
Pharmacists know about the relationship between vitamins and minerals and drugs. And it's interesting because when your body is under the influence of a pharmaceutical, right? Well, the pharmaceutical doesn't work by magic.
No.
The pharmaceutical upregulates certain parts of your metabolism and downregulates other parts, right? And the metabolism all is made and run by minerals and nutrients. So everybody's nutritionally deficient to begin with, especially minerals. And then the longer that you're on the influence of a drug, your reserves get burned right through. This is why you develop a resistance to the drug. It's not a resistance to the drug. You haven't habituated to the drug. The drug has burned through your body's resources, and now your body finds it even harder to approach normalcy. So they increase the dose of the drug or give you drug number 2 or 3 or 4. And it's nuts. It's just nuts. And let's keep it all in perspective. Thank God for insulin. Thank God for lidocaine. Thank God for the sterile technique and surgery meds. There's room in the world for everything. But this information has not been introduced into the public forum. Quite frankly, it's been suppressed aggressively by the pharmaceutical industry. And people need to know it because, as God is my witness, the minerals are a game changer. Everybody needs to slam those doors and kick those tires because, again, you simply don't know what you're missing.
And the information can be found on OperationFreedomHealth.com. The products can be found on OperationFreedomHealth.com. Pete, you also have a website for more information. You want to educate our listeners on that?
Yeah, certainly. I have a whole bunch of in-depth information at RiseUpIntoHealth.com. RiseUpIntoHealth.com. I have a subscription service you can get and have access to really in-depth information. I've got hundreds of hours of videos that walk you through the naturopathic understanding of different illnesses. I've got a lot of free content on there also, especially concerning coronavirus, which is really interesting. And, don't get me started, but most of the stuff concerning coronavirus has been seriously conflated, and it's a big bad voodoo daddy, and I simply don't know how much longer we're all going to put up with it.
Agreed. Peter, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. I'd like to thank you folks for joining us today. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Check out the information that we have available on OperationFreedomHealth.com and Pete's website, RiseUpIntoHealth.com. Thanks for your time today.